In today's video, I'm gonna be walking you guys through my sample beat making process. So I got a sample pulled up, and this sample is from TrackLib. Now, if you don't know TrackLib is an online marketplace where you can just find all these different samples and also get it cleared on that website as well. So make sure you check that out. You can use my link below. The first thing I'm gonna do is, instead of just chopping it like this, I found that it's a lot easier to just go to regions. Don't worry about the tempo, don't worry about anything else. So now that it's laid out, I just messed around with the chops. In the middle, I want to add a slice, so I could just go to the pencil tool and then just click in between. So now I split it. Chop it where the kick is at. So it's right here, so let's just zoom in to right there. So bring that close to the kick. Let's say you don't want the kicks in that chop. Let's just convert it. New drum program using slices. So before we record, what I can do about the kick situation is go to the effects, go to EQ filter, and go to kill EQ. Kill EQ is going to be the best EQ to like cut out your drums or even just get like the bass in your samples. There's a preset called no kick drums. It takes out the low end. Like, you see how it cut it so sharp, you could barely hear it. So that's good enough. Now let's record. Now you can hear that the timing is not right yet, but don't worry, all you have to do is just boost up the BPM until it sounds right. Make sure no notes are off. As you can see, some of the notes are off, so make sure you align that on the grid. This one is off. Yeah, so that sounds good to me. So let's add some drums. I like this hi-hat right here, and then I wanna find a kick, and then I just load the kick. I like this blues clap, so I'm gonna just load that. So I usually like to get my kick and my clap and my hi-hat, and then I'll add the others later. So the first thing I like to do is just shift note repeat, and just put like an 8-note rhythm. So let's just record that in. And then just add the claps. I just wanted to add that little kick in between. All I have to do is just nudge it over. I want to add one more kick. And then I could just go through and add like more percussions and claps. Let's even go with a rim shot. I like to add rim shots. Now I got some perks, I got some rim shots, so I can mess around with that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I can always turn it down too, it's pretty loud. So for the rim shot, I'm just gonna put it in the typical area where you make it bounce. You'll hear it. Anytime you hear that clap like, ta, 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 you know, they call it the Drake bounce. It's just an old bounce that's been there for many years. When it comes to drum patterns, just listen to your favorite song. There's only so many drum patterns that you can do in the trap genre, or any genre at that. The whole idea of being original can actually hold you back, because it makes you think that you have to pull from your own intellect, which is not true. None of the greats have never done that. They always pull from other people's intellect. So I might not use the this perk and this sound. You know, sometimes I just go through sounds and I don't end up using all of them. Now, what I like to do on my hi-hats is put like a chorus on it. It just kind of fits the vibe a bit better. So go to modulation, go to multi-chorus. There's all different kind of chorus. Just pick one. And it's subtle. And for the open hats, let's see how an auto pan would sound on that. I'm liking the default setting or the slow pan. I'm gonna do the default, but I'm gonna turn it down because when you start to pan it, you can start to hear your sound a bit more. So anytime you pan the sound, you still wanna kind of turn it down a bit. So let's just go back to the drum kit and find an 808 that fits. I like 808 alternate because it's just simple. Now that you have that, make sure you was on key groups when you load it in. And then you want to just go to menu and pad 14. You want to put it on one shot so that when you hit the note, it plays all the way through. And then also change this to mono. So you want to really listen into the low end of your sample. Let's just hear it. And yes, we did take out the low end with the EQ, but just listen to that progression, like dun, 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 dun. So it got like 4 notes. Dun, 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 dun. So let's record. You can kind of hear that the bass is sounding pretty bad when it gets to the C and the D note. So usually when I hear that my 808s is not sounding good all the way through, this is when I like to just flip through different 808s and then make sure this pad is green, and then you just scroll and just press load. And this packet got a lot of 808s. That's it. I could use that one. And then I could just go to the stereo width because it do sound like there's a bit of stereo. I could just lower the lows to put it in mono. So you see how the mid sound, when it's all the way down, it kind of takes away that character. So let's bring it back up. So this is why it's good to use like an imager where you can mess with different frequency stereo widths. And that's why I like Ozone Isotope. But since we're on the MPC, I'm glad that they have this function. I think I want to push this note a bit back. And then what I could do is just copy over the sequence. So now that I had the sequence copied over, I could just mess around with the melody. I wanted that B, so that note hit too soon. Let's just move it over. Even put a reverb on the sample just to push it back in the mix. And then we could go into song mode, press overdub, just to put in a pattern. That's pretty much my process of just like cooking up. Now let's just hear what we have. Now, if you want to see a video on me arranging this beat, let me know in the comments and share with your other producer friends if you found this helpful.